The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we're going to talk about Jupiter entering Taurus for the next 12 months. This is a really upbeat, optimistic alignment in astrology, and so we'll always ask the angels. We always do that. We work with the angels with what we're seeing lining up for astrology and what's coming. It doesn't mean it's predicting anything, but it gives you this energy and understanding like why it may feel the way it does. So I like looking at astrology for the esoteric and soul lessons and soul growth that we can find out of it. And working with the angels, you know, some of them are challenging, some of them are not. But honestly, Jupiter is a real positive minded, really, you know, it has its positives and negatives, but it's not like some of the other challenging planets. So it's going to be for 12 months. So it goes into Taurus. It's entering Taurus on May 16. And this is just great opportunity. It's refreshing energy. One of the sides of it that can be more of the shadow side of Jupiter is it's a planet of expansion, but it can, you know, you just want to watch overindulgence or overextending, you know. Here's the cool part, because it's going into Taurus, Taurus is that grounded earth sign. So we have a little bit more of like, stay grounded, stay organized, stay structured, don't go too fast kind of thing. So I find that it's a pretty cool balance between the two. It gives you this expansion energy that you'll just reach a little further and see what your potential and capabilities are. So I really like it for that. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, a couple of questions that you could ask yourself with this energy, you may already be feeling it coming in a little bit, is what type of environment have I created for myself? Okay, what have I created? What is my environment? What is my lifestyle? What is this energy that I live in, you know, everything, all the combinations, relationships, your home, location, all of it. What kind of environment have I created for myself? Work, personal, doesn't matter, all of it. It's a good question to ask. And then the second question would be, am I thriving in this environment or am I just surviving? Yeah, so there might be parts of it that work and parts that don't, and parts you might want to change, and parts that feel just outdated and you're ready for something different and fresh. This is great energy for that. So Jupiter is a planet of expansion and abundance. It also highlights and features fun, you know, pleasure, vacations, taking breaks, romance, finance, you know, all of that. Especially in Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus is going to highlight those areas more. So while it's hanging out there, there's a couple of other alignments that are going to be interesting that I'm going to share with you too. So this is just a cool energy to explore and just see what's in there for the next year. So it starts on May 16 of 2023, and it will stay, Jupiter will stay in Taurus until May of 2024. So that's a good year. So let's take a look at it. First of all, the affirmation that I chose for this week's show is, I am ready to receive the blessings the universe has to offer. So if that resonates with you, want to write that or jot that down. I like to come up with different affirmations that work with each week as we're going through different energies, and so I always put one with the show. If you're new to the show, so welcome. So let's look at this. First of all, May 16th, that's just in a few days. We're airing this live on May 11 of 2023. So on May 16, that's when Jupiter will enter Taurus. This is where it will stay until May 26 of 2024. Now, while it's on this journey, it's going to have us focus on, like I said, the foundations we've built, the environment that we've created for ourselves, and whether we're thriving or just making it from one day to the next, surviving it, so to speak. It will also touch on these themes of pleasure, romance, and finance, so just reminding you of that. Now, because it's the planet of expansion, moving into Taurus expands and activates areas of our lives that will be in focus. So when it's about abundance and expansion, whatever area of focus that's highlighted, it will expand that. That's where it can have a positive or maybe not what you want to expand. So not to get stressed out if you find yourself in something that you don't really want. That's just, you know what, make that decision. And last week we talked about this a lot. When you find that happening, it's usually the mental energy that just keeps repeating, or we're fretting about something. You want to move back to that space in between the thoughts where there isn't anything, and just sit with that, connecting with your soul. Like, if something doesn't feel in place, reconnecting where your heart, your soul, that in-between blank space, to get the thoughts out of the way that are cluttering and distracting, and just ask the question again, am I thriving or surviving here? And pay attention to that answer and find your peace answer there. That's where you'll find the answer you really want, because you want to connect with that. If you want to go into that a little bit more, we talked about that in last week's show, so you can listen to that on the archives. But we have Jupiter making all of this opportunity for, we can focus with law of attraction. What do we want? What do we not want? Okay, where is our focus? What is this seem to be highlighting? Where do we want to expand abundance? Is it happiness, love, friends, connection, family, job? What is it that you want to do? And but the universe is going to be like kind of literal at that. So if you keep fretting about it, then that's where you want to get out of the head. The head does that. Your mind does that. You know, your soul doesn't do that. It's not worried about any of that. So that's why I keep saying go to that in between and get back there, because that's where the real, true, authentic you is anyway. Not all this other stuff that's, the mind's just pre-programmed like that. So while we're in this, these two significant alignments come in too. One with the North Node we're going to talk about a little bit, and one with Uranus, the planet of change and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to look and see how that goes. So Taurus is ruled by Venus and the Earth, okay? And that's a connection to money, abundance, fertility, environment, self-worth, indulgence. This is what Taurus is about. Doesn't like to go fast either. Taurus does not like to be pushed or rushed. It wants to be structured. It likes to have a plan, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and here's Jupiter coming in like, let's just go way over there. And so that's where these are going to be interesting, and kind of find your balance with that. So Jupiter, being that planet of expansion, entering Taurus for 12 months, will expand on the themes of Taurus. Okay, so that's where you're looking. If it was in Aries, it would expand on those themes. If it was in Gemini, it would expand on those themes. So it's going to be in Taurus for a year. So it's going to expand on the Taurus themes. That's where it is. It shines a spotlight on and getting focus on these areas of our life so we can make them better and reap the most abundance and benefit from it. So this is a good thing. It's also considered, Jupiter is also considered the lucky planet because it helps us focus on positives with silver linings. This is where you want to allow your mind to actually expand and explore things it doesn't really know yet. You know, sometimes our mind just wants to know what it already knows and everything that's proven, where our soul comes from, this is where we create something. There is no proof that it'll work. We just want to not be afraid to try, kind of thing. And it brings in these opportunities things. It brings in insights, deeper awareness that you're really looking for and you're aching for. So I like that part. The presence can lead to awakenings that give you a richer, just more understanding and consciousness of the way the world is. And is your environment a thriving or surviving type of environment? Jupiter in Taurus, like I said, Taurus doesn't like to go fast, so this won't be quick to act. So you might feel and see a lot of insightful changes. You might see some ideas, what will work best. But what will work with Taurus in a smoother way is, okay, put a plan together. Get a little bit more methodical, I guess, is the way to say it, and take a step-by-step approach so you don't feel rushed. That's going to help Jupiter's expansion work with Taurus really well. So I really highly recommend you look at that. If it's feeling like that, like I said, Taurus will just like stop and just go, nope, don't push. And you just want to go, all right, let's take one step at a time and it'll work better. So there's no real rush here with Taurus, but when they work together that way harmoniously, like allow the expansion and the ideas to come and then take step-by-step approach, you're going to see a win-win with these two for the next year. Jupiter in Taurus can also feel a little like you're slowing down or feeling sluggish, and that's because it doesn't like to go fast, and sometimes you want to watch out for procrastination kicking in. You don't want to completely procrastinate where you don't do anything. So you want to take the step-by-step approach. That's a great way to work with it. Like again, you don't have to do it all at once because that won't work with Taurus. It's just like, nope. But if you were to do it, well, let's just explore it a little bit more and take a step here and just see what happens. You'll find a flow and a rhythm that's going to work for you, and that's going to work very well. One of the gifts of Taurus is to slow down and not go so fast that we're just stumbling all over everywhere, and we're actually stopping and smelling the roses, and we're appreciating the beauty of life, and we're appreciating, the finer things of life. Taurus likes that. That's the way a Taurus is. And, when problems occur, you can feel like, where's the purpose? Why am I doing this? So allow that step-by-step approach. I really see this working really well with this energy. That's what I'm planning to do. Taurus also likes to have the rest, the pleasure, the plan, the great idea. With Jupiter and Taurus, then you're going to have Taurus likes a lot of that, so watch out for that overindulgence thing. So you might find that you do want to spend maybe some money on a redecorating thing. Just don't go overboard. Do a little bit, but mind it, be mindful of it, be in at slower pace with it, with the step-by-step. So in the environment, now as Jupiter is beginning its journey, it's going to guide us to think about environments like, what do we live in? What is this environment and lifestyle that I've created? Is it supporting my dreams and goals? Things like that. You want to look for those answers. And if it's not, then maybe with Taurus, and this is what's good with the methodical step-by-step of Taurus, is look, okay, I like my life, but some of it, maybe I don't like this part. You're looking at maybe just fine-tuning which parts need to shift. It could be that it's just a simple change. Maybe you just need a fresh look. Maybe you just need a change. Sometimes we just need a change to get out of that stagnant energy that we feel like we're stuck in. Jupiter will spend 12 months touring through, planting seeds, and that's those leaps of faith. That's what happened with Aries. And then when we create a positive environment, now we can harness all those things that we created and planted seeds with when it was running through Aries. Now when it goes through Taurus, now it's going to cultivate that garden. So you've planted the seeds, and now you're going to take care of it and tend to it and nurture it. And that's where this is a great relationship with, okay, what did I want to change in my life, or what do I want to take care of better? You may have planted seeds and you may have started, but maybe it's time to just do a little bit more nurturing and weeding the garden, so to speak, and taking care of it and nourishing it. Things like that. There might be some changes to make, but Taurus energy is really good for the stamina, for the long haul, to see it through. It's like I said, it won't go fast. Doesn't want to be rushed, but it's very long term. It's like the long term, like see you through it. It has stamina, stubbornness at times, but that's because it doesn't like to be rushed. It wants to have a plan. So you can make these energies work together. Like I said, you can. You want to allow Jupiter to show you all this expansion and not be afraid to take a chance, but at the same time, using that grounded logic that Taurus brings with a steadfast pace can really make things more productive and be more lasting and enduring. So when we expand on this idea, we can even look deeper on the state of our planet. I mean, what about environmental stuff? What about using the resources? And you might see changes on the collective here with things about the environment. How about agriculture and farming? How's that going? You know, you're going to see things out there in the news about the shifts, changes, what's not working, what's not right. I see it already. I can see why that's coming up now when I look at this. Jupiter and Taurus about finances and wealth. Now, because Jupiter and Taurus tends to be that signature for money, you know, a lot of people go straight there with the abundance word. They think money, you know, wealth. It is connected to that, but in many, many ways, not just money, but yes, it is as well. So Jupiter and Taurus can be connected to the abundance of debt too, so watch out, but watch out for the overindulgence part. Just a little heads up there. You're going to do good here, and there's lots of good things. Just watch out for going overboard. You want to go, just, you know what I mean. Let Taurus rein it in when it needs to. Either way, this is a good opportunity for you to work out finances, get them in order. Taurus likes finances in order, and it likes to have finances good and healthy and strong too. So you might just be budgeting a little bit. You might find that you're working on expenses and paying down debt, but you're also looking at how your money can grow. It might take you through that journey. It'll be a little bit of both. So this is a good lineup to see, well, what's my potentials out there? And what can I do to kind of curb some of this so I can get some of that finance or that debt down, things like that. Maybe there's investments you want to make. I don't know what your situation is here, but this is another area that might pop up if you're in a good position for that. So, you know, if you don't have the extra to do like financial investments, maybe you're looking to invest in something you can do to help yourself, like invest in growing your own food or garden, developing new skills. Maybe you want to do a side job. You know, maybe you want to explore and see if you can make a little side money here and there. These are different ways you can invest yourself. So it's not going to hit everybody this way, but you might find that that area might come up for you. Focusing on the abundant mindset. Now, when I say mindset, we can think about mindset, we can think about affirmations, and we can think about thinking abundantly, but that's still in the mind. So remember, when it keeps canceling itself out and getting confused, take it to a blank space in between the thoughts. Because when you take it to that area where the mind isn't just running you rampant back and forth like, oh yes, no, maybe not, back and forth, it can make you run in circles. Take that moment and go back to that space in between. That's what I'm just saying. Go to that space in between. You would be surprised how powerful that is. Because when you go to that 0 point, the universe can do what it needs to do to bring things to you. Instead of our mind going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you can actually get somewhere. So that's why I'm saying that. Now, when you are stuck in that rigid mentality, that's what I mean. That's when I say just take a minute and go, okay, wait, go into the blank space. Go into reconnect with my heart here to see where I'm at. So because the mind can have a limited mindset is why you want to do that. The unlimited is in the space in between. So that part right there is where you want to focus on your possibilities of what you want to do with this energy. Now, what about the part about seeking the pleasure, the time off, the vacations, the indulgent side, like travel. Maybe you want to work with some food or something. You know, this is a great time to see if you want to try something that's fun in your life or you have a passion for. Taurus is all about that. Remember, watch out for the overindulgence, but you can actually go and enjoy some things this way. Maybe you just want to take a new class in something you've always wanted to learn how to do. Maybe you just want to enjoy doing something that you just never seem to have time to do. Make some time for it, because Taurus is all about that. And will probably cooperate better when you want to take some steps in the other direction. So if you're looking to just maybe spruce up with some plants or some flowers, or just beautify your area or redecorate a room, things like that. Maybe you just want to rearrange furniture, I don't know. Maybe you just want to change out a color. Maybe you're in the mood to wear certain colors right now. Just listen to how it might work for you. This has a vast array of different ways it could play out. I'm giving examples, but you want to listen to how it works for you, because everybody's different. And this is what this is about, is a really anchoring in with Jupiter and Taurus together, step-by-step approach, grounded, logical, finding a plan where Jupiter shows you the expansion and the possibilities. Unlimited possibilities in the space in between. I'm going to keep repeating that because it's so important. All right, now, when you get to a point where you're infusing something that you enjoy into your daily life, that is huge. Because ultimately a goal would be, and it's not necessarily that old saying, work hard, play hard, but kind of. You're going to get some work done, you're going to get some responsibilities taken care of, and then you're going to have a little time for yourself. If you can find a way to do that each day, that's ultimately the perfect goal. I know it doesn't always work out that way, but we can have an intention for that. So Taurus makes it a little bit more important because self-care and self-nourishing is a priority for Taurus. It's not going to hear anything else. So if you've been trying to get into a routine to balance that out because you're busy taking care of your family or busy taking care of everything else, and we have these responsibilities that we do, sometimes just carving out 30 minutes for yourself a day is a great place to start somewhere, somehow. And then maybe you can build some sort of routine methodically where, okay, this is my time where I do this. And then, you know, you're going to have those days that pop in that are like, oh, very unexpected. Now I have to do this during my time that I normally have a quiet spot. Well, find another 30-minute spot somewhere if you can. If you can't, don't stress about this. The goal is to try to find a way to work this into a routine for yourself. And if it's been always neglected and never there, that's where it can just feel frustrating. But even if it's once a week, try something. Try something every, like, say, a certain day of the week, you know that you've got time to yourself. Make that a routine to where you're not just catching up on a million things. You've got a little bit of time where you can do something you like. So now I want to tell you some things that came in from a couple of the angels. First of all, one of the archangels that's really great to work with Jupiter energy, because it's so optimistic, is Archangel Jophiel. Jophiel is an angel that is a great angel to call on when you just feel like, I just need some positive something, you know? And when I say certain angels, I also want to reiterate that it does not matter if you don't know which angel to call on. They are really a collective group. All you need to do is just reach out. You can just ask. You don't have to worry about, was that the right one or was that not the right one? That's your mind making a limitation to what angels do in an unlimited area of spiritual. Yeah. They're not worried about all that. They're not worried about what they know which one, or they know which way to go with that. It really doesn't matter because everything's all connected into a one. And I'm talking bigger right now for a minute. That mind of ours is the one that wants to make sure it's categorized. Is this the right way to ask them? Did they hear me? Do I need to ask a certain one? You don't need to worry about it like that. Honestly, you just need to know they're there. And guess what? Go to the space in between and ask. It actually is an easier way to connect, and you'll know. So this North Node, what's that North Node about in astrology? The North Node, Jupiter entering Taurus, it's also going to align with the North Node in this 12-month phase. It's going to be most intense May and June of this year. So now and next month, okay, the North Node. It's incredibly powerful. And what is it? What's the North Node? The North Node represents collective destiny. The group, all of us. Where are we headed together, collectively? It's like a compass, and it's a direction of where we're inspired to go, kind of a thing. So that's what the North Node is. So May, June, like, that's going to be aligned there, and it's about collective destiny. So North Node in Taurus, and it has been in Taurus since January of 22, by the way. Yeah, that's been a while, over a year. It's slowly shifting, but the final union with Jupiter expands all the themes that's going on there. So Jupiter and the North Node coming together accelerate events. You know, you might see feelings of humanity shifting into a different direction for the future, which we're seeing a lot of that, I think, out there. You're going to see, like, what's for the future, what's going to suddenly arrive unexpectedly. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. This is what's showing up in astrology here. I've asked the angels about that. Michael comes in immediately for that, Archangel Michael. And because he's like, the biggest thing that gets everybody tripping all over all of this is they're fearing the future. Oh, well, what does that mean? What's that going to happen? What's going to happen next? Well, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? All that's the mind, the limited thinking. Again, I know. So just go with the flow thing, and just, it's more like, you know, we're going to see some changes. We're going to see some things that are like, oh, I was not expecting that. We're looking for the flexibility to go with the flow here to find the best outcome for the future. So all of these things are working together. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing here. Jupiter and North Node coming together is very rare, by the way, because that's the planet of expansion. It's the positive, optimistic planet. This really is where you want to lean into the energy and not in that fear. Michael's reminding us, don't let that fear get all caught up and go redundant in your head over and over here. So it is, over the next 12 months, going to have a little bit of, where are we going here as a group, as society, as humanity? So we can make lots of choices and changes here. Having Jupiter in this expansive mindset here, working with Taurus, we can make a plan. We can see potential outcomes. We can see some opportunities to change something for the better. So this is all, to me, very encouraging. A North Node in Taurus also indicates we are striving to cultivate something better in our own personal lives. It's an earth sign, so it likes to be steady. It likes to be grounded. It's wanting the confidence. It doesn't want to prove anything to anybody. It just wants to be, you know, grounded, steady, and firmly planted. North Node in Taurus also encourages us to embrace steady qualities and grounded qualities in our own personal lives, in our groups, in our immediate circle. It likes to have predictability, which that's interesting because Jupiter's going to go, hey, surprise. So Taurus liking all of that, it's going to have to, it will challenge that a little bit, but at the same time, we want to just figure out, okay, where are we going to land here? And knowing that we have done an intention to do our very best, and with outcomes, not expecting to know what they all are, we have a lot of optimism. We have a lot of support from the universe. And I highly recommend, don't let that mind of ours, and I remind myself of this too, I'm not kidding. When I say that, I'm going to say ours because my mind does it too, is just get out of your own head and go to that spot, that quiet spot, so your soul can speak, so you can hear it, so you can hear angels easier, so you can hear your guides easier, so the universe can work with the energy to bring in what you need, what you want, needs met, things like that. We're encouraged to have more structure and stability in our lives with this kind of combination, especially with Taurus and Jupiter. But we're also looking for this approach that will work best for us individually. You are wanting to be your unique self, but we're also part of a collective. So don't let what ifs and get all focused on, I don't know what the outcome might be. That's the fear of the future you don't want to do. When you come back to that spot in between, remember, that puts you in the present as well. That's like being present. That's where you have all the power to do things with law of attraction. On a collective level, the North Node also brings peaceful situations. It brings things that are just going to bring in, striving where we can be our best. It might be time to work with changes that have unfolded already. It might be that we're working on things like that. Taurus is very much about abundance. So connecting with this abundant around you, living it in your lives. I mean, it could be you have abundant love in your life. You have abundant happiness. You have abundant support. It doesn't have to be just finance. Keep that in mind. So abundant living is in all areas of life. Abundance, with how you take care of yourself and, just everything. Just you got to look around you and look at what do you have that you can appreciate right now. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so those qualities of Venus are about self-worth. You want to feel worthy to receive. The universe is wanting to give us everything we could ever possibly need or want, but we have to know that we are deserving of it. So that's where you can get out of your own head too with that sometimes, because that mind of ours is no joke, right? It can be challenging. Feelings of self-worth are not just about self-esteem, but about who do you hang out with? Is it supporting you, or do you feel worse? What about what you're tolerating or what boundaries you may have set? You're looking at, it's a little bit of all of that, okay? You're looking to, be in a good place that supports you. If it's not, then why are we in it? That's what we need to ask ourselves. This is North Node in Taurus will give you an energy of deliberate action. So you're looking like, where can I live from a place of conscious intention and not just falling back into old habits, so to speak, because you want something to change. And I don't want to go back to those old habits, and you probably will back and forth a few times, but just work with it. Financial industries are also ruled by Taurus, so you might notice some things in that area in the public arena. You might find that things about the value is changing, the attitude toward it. On a personal level, you could see that waking up parts of that in your own self-worth and security. So all kinds of interesting things with that North Node. That is going to be currently now, I went into that a little bit more because that's currently May, June, that will feel that the strongest. Now, at the end of the 12 months, that's next year, around April, May of 2024, Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus together. Now, what is that? That's a special alignment. That energy is more active next year, April, May of 2024, and as it's getting ready to leave Taurus. So that's the planet of awakening, change, innovation, and it's kind of wanting you to break through boundaries that you've set on yourself and find more freedom and do things your own way. That's what that one's about. Because Uranus and Jupiter coming together in Taurus, that could bring a couple of bumpy areas. If you're wanting to break free and it's getting a little bit, combative with your, like, say, people around you or family or friends, like, why are you doing that? And you're wanting to go, no, this is what I want. You could see some areas that are changing big with farming, agriculture, finances, but it's because it needs to change. That's how this is working. It comes together to bring an acceleration also to innovative technology. You might see more with digital stuff and AI, and that's all out there already. But by next year, it could be interesting. We'll have to just wait and see how that plays out. This is a once in every 12-year alignment, by the way. Okay? So every 12 years. It won't be in Taurus again like this for another 12 years. So, interesting stuff. So, what I do want you to hear is that don't be caught in fearing the what ifs of the future. Don't feel like you have to stay in that. Like, I can't help it. My mind keeps going there. That's where I'm telling you. Give the mind something to do. Like, okay, what's that space in between? You know, what's the space in between this fret and this fret? Okay, you're looking in between, and the mind's like, well, there's nothing there. I'm trying to go back to one of those other ones, and then you can kind of see what it's doing. And these are just things that happen. That's part of life. Our mind is not a bad thing. It's just a programmed thing, basically, that it's just used to what it knows, and it, you know, doesn't understand what it doesn't know. But our soul is where things are created. It's the brand new. It's the unlimited thinking. And in times like this, where so many things are shifting and changing, and we need new ideas, we have to sometimes come out of those boundaries of the mind that knows it only one way, so we can find new solutions. Working in a spiritual mindset is working with your soul, is working with angels, and you can connect with that a whole lot easier, is why I keep telling you to do that. And because I find that that is one of the easiest, quickest ways. When you're going through your day and you're busy, you might be making dinner for the family and it starts. Okay? Then you need something to do. Like, all right, let's go over here. Stop. Don't do that. You might be laying down at night to finally get some rest and it starts. That happens to a lot of people. Like, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to go over here into the blank space. So it just actually helps you reconnect with your soul, the part that's fearless, not worried about the past, not worried about the future. It keeps you in your now, present, where you have all your power. It's where the universe can help you with your manifestations with law of attraction. And think about it. Sometimes if you're trying to force a positive to overwrite with your mind, like say you're trying to do it with your mind, you're trying to force a positive mindset over top of a negative one, it's still in the mind and it just keeps going back and forth in a circle and canceling each other out. So just get it out of there. Go over to this space where, okay, nope, not that, we're going to go over here. And if you go to this place where there isn't anything and it's just quiet peacefulness, it's amazing. So that's what I'm highly recommending. I've been working with it quite a bit. It works. It works. It feels weird at first, but keep going at it and you will find what works best for you in the way that you can do it. So I do want to say hello to everyone that's joined us. Hello to Lisa and Karen and Fixed Eyes 777. Hello, and Kelly, good morning to you guys. It's good to see you. We're getting into a busy time of year. We've got kids just about out of school for the summer. We've got graduations. We got all kinds of stuff going on out there. So I didn't want to keep you guys too long. I know this is a busy time for everyone. I also want everyone to know that it's a positive time. This kind of energy is great to work with. And don't give up on you. Don't give up on any of the possibilities that are there. Energy flows where intention goes. We've heard that a million times. But it works best in that blank space that I'm talking about. The other thing that I wanted to mention is this can work in any area of life. It can work it really helps with how we're feeling about ourselves. It also works physically because sometimes our body gives us physical signs. Energy through the body can sometimes just get agitated at times, or sometimes it's flaring here and there, and it's trying to get your attention to where this is like an energetic pattern that's stuck. When you look at energy healing, that's kind of what that is. And when you work with it this way, with this optimism, it's like, well, what can I do? Like, for example, it's best to try to practice this with something simple. Like, for example, say, what can I do to, ease, maybe you overdid it in the garden and you have a sore back. Like, what can I do to ease that? What would work? And you go to the blank space and ask that question, not just your mind, not just Google, okay? Not just all those places that you search. Okay? Ask your soul. Because guess what that does? Think about how wonderful it is when you feel like someone has actually heard you and you haven't been ignored on something very important to you. Your soul going there and saying, okay, what would work best for me? Would it be heat? Would it be ice? Would it be just stopping and resting? Would it be a certain type of food to eat? Whatever. Because everybody's different. So because your body's like an antenna and it's trying to tell you things, and then you ask this question from there, you're letting it know, because the soul will use the body like as a megaphone. I know. And you're like, well, what are you trying to say to me? You're actually listening. And you might be quite surprised what you can discover. That is also so much of an easier place to ask angels for some help with this. Like, what can I do here? What would help me the best here? What can I do to make this a better situation, kind of thing? Anything like that. I find that very fascinating. I ask like that a lot for myself, and I also ask for, like, when I'm taking care of my family or my pets, you know, like, what can I do to help here? What can I do? And it never fails me, honestly. That's where the best ideas come up that you were just missing, you know, and because you're actually listening to the part of you that is the true, authentic you, that actually has an unlimited source of answers and solutions. So I love that part. Yes. And it will take some, if you're not used to it and it sounds really weird, it's really worth it. It's not going to cost you anything, just a little bit of just a couple of seconds here and there throughout your day to work with it. You might find it to be very surprising and very, very encouraging. And things calm down and settle when they're, you know, listen. I mean, what about a child that's screaming for your attention? When you finally are listening to what the child needs or what's going on, calms down. And that's just an example. And I really just highly encourage you to look at it. Try simple things first, something not too complicated. Don't try to make, and then the other thing that works really well with this kind of energy, and this is great energy to work on this with. That's why I'm going into it. Is you may have a situation in your life that you want to work on, but it's got multi facets to it. Break it down. If it's a really big area of life and complicated, break it down into one piece at a time. And then with Taurus and Jupiter, it's like, okay, I'm going to break this down. This is actually like 5 different things to make this big thing that I want, okay? So break it down and then look at, well, which one would go first? That's where Taurus energy can help you get this worked out step by step. Jupiter energy can help you expand to find some new ideas. And working with your in-between blank space area with your soul energy and being connected there. And then when you're asking, sky's the limit. There is no limits here. You probably will find that you're going to create this incredible, I would never have thought of that. That's great. Because the mind didn't do it, because the mind's limited, right? The mind can only think of certain, whatever it already knows or whatever's already out there. But maybe you need something unique. So that's why I'm saying it. It's actually been very, very encouraging to work with it. So, you know, I'm just sharing what has worked for me and has helped me leaps and bounds the quickest in any kind of challenge. Even when it's not a challenge, maybe you just want to work with it more. I would. That's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm telling you. So with that, guys, we have lots going on in our lives. You have lots of manifesting to go do. And I just want to say a big hug to each and every one of you out there. And thank you for supporting the show. We are working on big changes here, and I promise you I will let you know when that happens. But I am planning to be here each Thursday unless some unexpected, unforeseen reason happens. And you've obviously seen that that can happen. We're going with the flow. But as you are working in your own life, go into the blank space. go connect with your soul before you try to sort it out. Because you can tell when you're trying to sort it out with your mind, because it just goes, yeah, but this, and but what if that happens, and that might not work, and it goes all over the place. Go to the space. Go to the space and then ask. And you'll find that you're doing it with your mind a lot, and then go, oh wait, that's the mind's idea. Let's go see what the other ideas are that are from unlimited sources. And that's the part that I love. So with that, guys, I'm going to say good night to you. I wish you all much love, and I will see you next time here on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jennroyster.com.